So hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the second part of my my video report. So in the first part of my video report, we talk about circulatory system in humans and animals. So as a whole, as a recap, a circulatory system is a transport system in our body, and it transport nutrients, minerals, and of course blood to the different parts of body cells as well as the systems. So right now we will continue my report, and we will talk about transport system in plants. Okay, so this is the circulatory system, or the counterpart of the circulatory system in plants. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so before that, let's have a short recap. Some of the parts of the leaves or the leaf. So this is what we called uh, the left leaf. How do you pronounce it? Left or lift? Okay, leaf tissues anatomy. So as you can see here vascular tissue, the two vascular tissue, which is the xylem and the phloem. Okay, so we have here the lower epidermis, the cuticle. Alright, so cuticle, we have the lower cuticle here, and we have also cuticle here at the upper portion. So this is a waxy layer which protects the plant and conserves water. So it is the one who who protects plants and conserves water, the cuticle. So we have here the stoma. Stoma is responsible for the exchange of water and gases with the atmosphere. And of course, we have here guard cells. Okay, of course, as the um, word itself, it guards. It is a guard cells. It guards the leaves. Of course, we have here the spongy. It is the layer containing air spaces specialized for gas exchange. Okay, this one. And we have here the palisade. I don't know how to pronounce it. It is palisade or palisade, but it is contain chloroplast best for light absorption. Okay, because light, as you know, that light is one of the factor that needed in order for the plants can make the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so let's go on with our transport system in plants. Okay, let's move. All right, so what is a transport system in plants? So vascular plants transport systems consist of two systems. These are the xylem and the phloem. Okay, so just like animals or just like humans, plants also need food, need sunlight, need oxygen, nitrogen, and other essential nutrients to survive. Okay, although they are plants, but they are just like humans, that they also need this food, sunlight, oxygen, and other essential elements in order to survive, and in order also to produce food of their own for the humans. Okay, so these are obtained via the transport system in plants by means of root pressure, cohesion, adhesion, tension, and transpiration. Okay, so let's discuss later what are this cohesion, adhesion, tension, and transpiration. Okay, let's move. Okay, this one, let's talk about the xylem. Okay, so when we say xylem, it is a xylem transport the waters and minerals from the roots of the hairs to the shoot system. So meaning, halin sa roots ang um, okay, for example, ari ko din. For example, this is the plants. Okay, this is the plants. So this is the roots. So halin sa roots, ang xylem, ka-transport siya sa water and minerals halin sa root hairs to the shoot system, meaning to the other parts of the plants. So, from roots again to the other parts of plants. It's made of um, hollow dead cells joined end to end, in which the end cell wall has disappeared to form a long tube. Okay, so just like the picture, as you can see there. So xylem vessels contain no cytoplasm or nuclei. Remember that xylem vessels contain no, or it doesn't contain cytoplasm or nuclei. Or nuclei, nuclei. Okay, xylem tissue is made of cellulose and lignin, which in result assists to keep the plant upright. Okay, so that is the work of the xylem. So let's talk about the phloem. Phloem in vascular plants. Phloem is the living tissue that carries organic nutrients known as photosynthetae. 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 So in particular, sucrose, sugar to all parts of the plant where needed. So in trees, the phloem is the innermost layer of the bark. And the phloem also is concerned mainly with the transport of soluble organic materials made during photosynthesis. So what are these organic materials made during synthesis? So we have what's this? Okay, so these are the food prepared by the leaves to the different parts of the plants. Just like, um, ano ba? Okay, mga nutrients, sugars, um, um, carbon dioxide. Okay, so the phloem is concerned mainly with the transferable organic material made during photosynthesis, and this is called as translocation. So in other words, guys, xylem and phloem facilitate the transport of water, minerals, and food all throughout the plant. Okay, but the main difference between the two is that the xylem carries water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. On the other hand, this phloem carries the food prepared by the leaves to the different parts of the plants. Okay, so let's move. So this one is a phloem. So phloem transports sugars and other items. So in angiosperms, sieve tube elements contain the sugar solution. Sieve tube cells are surrounded by various various support cells. So these are some of the cell that can you found in the phloem. Am I right? Okay, so we have here the transfer cell wall, the parenchyma cell, the sieve tube elements plate, the plasmodesmata, the intermediary cell, the bundle sheath cell, or we have here the vacuole, the chloroplast, and the companion cell nucleus, and the vacuole. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, so to better understand the difference between the xylem and the phloem, I made the I put here a chart to differentiate the two, the xylem and the phloem. So I will read it to you. So xylem is made of dead cells, while the phloem is made of the living cells. Okay, take note of that. And also xylem, in terms of cellulose thickness, xylem is a very thick, while the phloem is very thin. For the cell wall material, of course, it is xylem is made up of lignin, and this lignin is very rigid. On the other hand, phloem is made up of a cellulose. In terms of permeability, so xylem is impermeable while the phloem is permeable. For the cytoplasm, of course, xylem does not have contain cytoplasm while phloem has cytoplasm in the lining. For in terms of transports, so xylem transports water and minerals, while phloem transports food. Okay, remember the difference. For the xylem, it is carried to leaves, from the roots to leaves, while phloem, it is uh, carried to the growing parts and storage organs of the plants. So how the direction of flow of the xylem and phloem is also different. For the xylem, it only flow upwards from roots to leaves, while the phloem, it can flow up and down movement. Okay, so in terms of tissue, so xylem has also tissue. Okay, so xylem, I don't know. So both of them has a tissue, and this tissue also has a fibrous in xylem, while in the phloem, the tissue also has a companion cells. Companion cells. Okay, this one. So these are the other differentiate. These are the other um, what's this? Functions, movement, and occurrence that differentiate between the phloem and the xylem. Okay, so for the phloem, the function of the phloem, it transport of food and nutrients such as the sugar and the amino acids from leaf storage organs and growing parts of plants. So this movement of the substance is called translocation. Okay, for the xylem, water and minerals transport from roots to the upper parts of plants. So you already know this one. For the movement, again, phloem, it is bidirectional. It means it moves up and down of the plants. For the xylem, it is unidirectional, meaning it only moves in one direction from the roots going to the leaves. For the occurrence, for the phloem, roots, stems, and leaves transport sucrose to growth areas, so root and shoots, and storage region of the plant, which is the seed fruit and the swollen roots. For the xylem, roots, stem, and leaves. Okay, so let's move. Okay, so this one is a phloem. Wait a minute. Wait. So this one is a phloem and this one is a xylem. Okay, so let's find the difference. Okay, so for the additional function of the phloem, this one, so phloem forms vascular bundles with xylem, while the xylem forms vascular bundles with phloem and gives mechanical strength to plant due to the presence of lignin cells. The lignified also makes the xylem waterproof and prevent it from collapsing under the pressure of water transpiration occurring in the leaves. For the structure in phloem, so it is elongated, it has a tubular shape with thin walled sieve tubes. So the sieve tubes have pores at each end and microtubules extend between sieve elements, allowing longitudinal flow of materials. For the xylem, here, okay, so tubular shape with no cross walls, which allows a continuous column of water, plus facilitates also more rapid transport within the xylem vessels. So there are two types of this one. We have the protoxylem which is the first form xylem, and the metaxylem, this is the mature xylem, and it is depending on the pattern of lignin. Okay, for the elements, for the phloem, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, so loosely packed, resulting in intercellular spaces which allows gas. For the xylem, okay, for the xylem, tracheids, elements, xylem parenchyma, so loosely packed, resulting in intercellular spaces which allows also gas exchange. So xylem sclerenchyma. Okay, so it is called a xylem sclerenchyma. Okay, let's move. Okay, for the vascular bundle, let's talk about vascular bundle. Okay, so xylem and phloem tubes are normally found close together. So the arrangement of this tube is called vascular bundle. Okay, this one. So this one is a vascular bundle. So in the root system, vascular tissue is found at the centri, or at the center. Okay, this one. At the center. So in the shoot system, they are found near the outside edge to help support the plant. Okay. Alright, so let's move. So how water transport? Okay, paano mag-transport ang water sa plants? So plants take in water from the soil throughout hairs, and it is carried in the xylem throughout the plants. So water is absorbed by the roots by means of osmosis. Okay, so the cytoplasm and the cell sap inside it are quite concentrated solutions, and the water in the soil is normally slightly diluted. Water therefore diffuses down its concentration gradient through a partially permeable membrane. Okay. So this is the continuation also for the transport of water. So water is a polar molecule. So when water molecules approach, they form a hydrogen band. So the negatively charged oxygen atom from one water molecule forms a hydrogen band with the positively charged hydrogen atoms in another water molecule. So water enters the xylem in the roots by osmosis. So once in the xylem, the water molecules of hydrogen band forming a continuous string of water molecules up to the leaf. So water is constantly lost by transpiration in the leaf. So when one water molecule is lost, another is pulled along. So transpiration pull is the main cause of water movement. Remember that. Okay, let's move. So this is the transport of water. So as you can see the arrow, water uptake starts from the soil. So the soil take water molecule, sorry. So the roots of the roots of the plants take in water, other soil particles, and it is being transported to the xylem. Okay, xylem cells here. Wait a minute. So from the root going to the stem, and then it goes to the left. So in each branch of the plants has a different what do you call this one? Have a different cells and their functions that helps for the transport of water from soil to the leaves. Okay, so in the root, so we have here the water, the soil particles, the root here, and the water molecules. So in the stem, it has a xylem cells and the cell walls. And in the leaves also, wait a minute. In the leaves, so we have there um, uh, the transpiration occur. So there is a water molecule in the left. We have there the stoma, the mesophyll cells, and the xylem sac. And of course, transpiration happens in the in the left, or in the leaves. Okay, rather in the leaves rather. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so what is a transpiration or transpiration? So the transpiration is the evaporation of water from plants. Kung sa water cycle, ang tawag sa pag-absorb it water from the soil and from the oceans is called an evaporation, while ang pag-absorb sang water sa plants is what we call the transpiration. So most of which takes place from leaves through the stomata, and this stomata is the opening of the leaves. So guard cells around the stomata control the rate of transpiration by opening and closing. So siya ang nag-control how much water will be absorbed by the heat of the sun. Okay, let's move. So this one is the transpiration stream. So when we say transpiration stream, this is very important because it provides leaves with a continuous supply of water, okay, for photosynthesis. Through this transpiration or transpiration stream, we can it really provides the leaves with a continuous supply of water. Okay, so the interrupted stream of water and solutes, which is taken up by the roots and transported via the xylem to the leaves, where it evaporates into the air. So it is driven by a capillary action, and in some plants by a root pressure. So that is the work of a transpiration stream. So as you can see there, here, this is the absorption by the root cells. Okay, see we have their water, potassium, sodium, and chlorine. So it goes up in an upward direction. So upward water movement in a cellular xylem. Then it will go to the leaves. Okay, then from the leaves, of course, to the process of transpiration, water is being absorbed, uh, evaporate. Okay, so as the transpiration occur, of course, there is a loss of water, and it happens also. Photosynthesis is uh, is ongoing. Is ongoing there, and we all know that photosynthesis is a process by which plant making their own food, and upon making their own food, there are elements needed. So we have the carbon dioxide, of course, and water. Is it water? Yeah. Okay, and the end product, of course, it has the sucrose and water. The end product is sucrose and water, and this sucrose and water is being transported into the different parts of the leaves, okay, in a cellular phloem. Okay, so let's move. Okay, this one, so this is the transpiration pool. Okay, so as you can see, carbon dioxide into the leaves. Water and minerals from the roots will also go to the leaves, and the sugar there is being synthesized by the leaf, and and the end product is oxygen and water, out. Okay, let's move. Okay, this one. So this is what is a transpiration. So this is what happened during a transpiration. So we have there the guard cells, the stoma will open. We have there the mesocells. Tawa nyo lang daan picture. Okay, so let's move. Let's continue. Okay, this one. So let's talk about transpiration. Okay, so when water is lost through transpiration, water from the xylem vessels in the leaf will travel to the cell to replace it. Okay, so when water is constantly being taken from the top of the xylem vessels to supply the cells in the leaves. So this reduces the pressure at the top of the xylem so water flows up. So this process is known as the transpiration stream, or what we call the transpiration pool. So evaporation of water at the surfaces of the mesophyll cells, followed by loss of water vapor from plants leaves through the stomata. Okay, let's move. Okay, this one. So these are the effects that affect transpiration. We have the temperature. Of course, if it is so hot, so the temperature is that transpiration is very high, while if it is very cold, of course there is a slow in transpiration. In terms of humidity, wind speed, okay, so light intensity, and of course the amount of water supply. Okay, let's move. We have here the transport of food. So translocation is the movement of sucrose and amino acids in phloem from regions of production to the regions of storage, or to the region of utilization in the respiration or growth. So the part of the plant from which sucrose and amino acids are being translocated is called the source. The part of the plant to which they are being translocated is what we call the sink. So leaves are generally the major source of translocated materials. Okay, and sink include the roots, flowers, and the fruits. Okay, okay, so let's move. This one. So sugar is made in the leaves by the process of photosynthesis. So sugar moves into the phloem tubes. Again, na siya dito. Then the phloem tubes will carry the sugar to the growing buds, which need for it for energy. Siya ang mag-carry dito from the leaves to the other parts of the plants. So the phloem tubes carry sugar to the roots, where it may be used for energy also, or changed into starch and then stored. So it transport also the food, which is the sucrose and the amino acids. Okay. So they are also made of many cells joined end to end. However, their end wall is not completely broken down. So instead, they form sieve plates. Alam mo yung sieve plates? So the cells are called sieve tube elements. So the cells contain cytoplasm but no nucleus, and they do not have lignin in their cell walls. So each sieve cells has a companion cells next to it, which thus contain a nucleus and many other organelles, and supply sieve tube elements with some of the other requirements. Okay, let's move. All right. So, guys, that's all. That's the end of my report. Again, for a summary, it is about circulatory system, how uh, it is about circulatory system, and as we all know, circulatory system is the transport system in the body of both plants and animals. It transports nutrients, minerals, water, blood in humans to the different body parts, or in plants to the different parts of the plants. Okay, for any clarifications and questions, you can you can message me in my messenger, and I will try my best to answer your questions and clarifications, because it is very hard to have a report without interactions, and you are just interacting to yourself. Okay, so thank you so much, and I hope I hope that you learned from my report, and that's all. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day and enjoy your vacation also. Bye bye. Goodbye.